Let's now take a look at the multi-tap section here in Timeless. I have a new signal going in through the plugin. Let's have a quick listen to it bypassed. All right, let's turn it on. I'm going to synchronize this to the tempo of the project, make it straight. Now you can see these lines pulsating. They actually represent the time and the amplitude of the delay repeats. So if I click and drag over here, you can see how the delay offset changes. If I click and drag downwards, I'm getting rid of the feedback. So we just hear that one repeat. And if I click and drag upwards, we get more feedback. Now this line actually has two segments. The upper segment represents the left side and the bottom segment represents the right side. If I introduce some delay time pan, you notice how there's an offset now between the two lines. So clearly the right channel has a longer delay time compared to the left channel. Now we can do all this over here, so it's not that helpful to control it with the tap section. But if I click on taps over here, we can customize exactly what we want in terms of the delay repeats. I'm going to bring the feedback all the way down so we can focus on this and hear it better. We set everything back to the center. So we just get that single repeat. So this line here represents the original signal, which I cannot change, but I can now click on this plus button and add specific delay taps. The height here represents the amplitude. Add another one here. So you can see this one is set to 25%. This one is set to 50%. And here I've added another one which is set to 75%. Let's hear this. Pretty cool. We can also pan these. If I hold down Command on a Mac and click and drag to the right, you can see that R appears, which is saying that now this particular delay tap is going to be output on the right channel. I'll do the same, but drag it to the left on this one. And now this is going to the left. Let's do the opposite over here and the opposite over here. So it's alternating between right, left, and right, left. Now we can keep adding more and more and make as complex of a delay pattern we want. I'm just going to add a few more just to demonstrate this. I'll leave these in the center. And now I'll turn on diffusion and increase the feedback. And now this just sounds like reverb. There you go, we just made our own reverb using a delay effect. Now there are more fancy things we can do here. We can click on this drop down and randomize taps. So you can see a bunch of new taps in all random positions. Randomize it again. We can space them evenly. That's a pretty cool control. We can ramp it up. That's nice how it kind of gradually increases. And you can always scale this. If I bring this back in the center to 100% or 200%. How about we pitch modulate that? Add some drive as well. Increase the feedback again. Interesting. We can do a ramp down instead. Let's do the alternate pitch shifting. How about this 4-tap left to right? So as you can see, things can get pretty complex in this section over here, and you can really create very, very interesting delay repeats, which can sound like reverb or just like a cluster of notes. Now, we can also modulate these. So let's experiment with that. I'm going to add a new XLFO, and I'm going to drag one of these to one of the taps. Let's say this one over here. And now I'm modulating the amplitude of that particular delay tap. Aside from modulating the amplitude, we can also modulate other parameters. I'll drag it over here on this one, and before I let go, I'm going to drag it on this percentage value. And now it's just moving back and forth. Let's tone that down a bit. So of all the taps we have one tap that's kind of oscillating back and forth. And we're in the tape mode, so we're getting that pitch shifting effect. Let's do the same on another one here. Alright, this thing's in the way. Try that again. Drop it here. Let's try a different shape here. So that's just one little example of what you can do with the delay tap feature here in Timeless. So make use of this modulation option, try modulating individual taps, and discover all kinds of very creative sonic possibilities.